How to use the StressX belt. The StressX belt should be considered the brains of the StressVest system. It empowers instructors with the ability to change the type of haptic feedback the student will receive when training with the StressVest. Turning on the StressX belt. To turn on the StressX belt, press the power button on the face of the StressX. When the StressX powers up, the power button will illuminate. You will also notice that the HITS light will also illuminate as a default. The LED digital display will initially flash BL. This stands for boot loader. Then it will display a 0 when ready for operation. If the sync button is illuminated with a solid light, then the StressX belt is currently synced to another device. If the sync button is not illuminated, then the device is not yet linked to another device. Turning off the StressX belt. To turn off the StressX belt, press the power button on the face of the StressX. Hold until the power button is no longer illuminated. In order for the StressX belt to work, it must be synced to a StressVest transmitter or the CQT instructor tablet or both. To learn how to sync the StressX belt to these systems, see the video, Syncing the StressX Belt. Using the Select button. The Select button is designed to switch between 3 selections. The first selection is HITS indicator. When the HITS light is illuminated, the digital display will show the number of times the belt has been activated. When the belt is synced to the StressVest system, this will record the number of times the participant was shot during the scenario. For example, if the participant received 3 shots to the vest during the scenario, the belt would display 3 on the digital display. In order to clear the number of hits back to 0, simply press both up and down arrows at the same time. The arrows are located to the right of the digital display. Remember, shutting off the StressX belt will also reset the hits to 0. By pressing the Select button again, it will toggle from the HITS indicator to the Mode indicator. When the Mode light is illuminated, the digital display will display a number that represents the current mode that the StressX belt is in. This will be a number from 1 to 12. Each number represents a different mode setting. For example, Mode 1 will instruct the StressX belt to deliver a single vibration whenever activated. In contrast, Mode 6 will deliver a vibration for the first activation, then a shock at the lowest level for the next activation, then an increasing level of shock for any subsequent activations. Each mode is unique and is designed to be selected by the instructor to enhance student performance. Details of each mode can be found on a mode list attached to the underflap of the transmitter, or listed in the StressVest user manual. Changing modes. In order to change modes, first ensure that the mode light is illuminated. Press the up arrow or down arrow located to the right of the digital display to change the mode number. The number displayed on the digital display corresponds to the number described in the mode list. Note, the mode will not reset when StressX belt is powered off, then powered on again. The StressX will stay in the last assigned mode until changed by the user. Press the Select button to toggle to the last selection, the shock level. The shock level indicator light should be illuminated. When the shock level indicator is selected, the digital display will display the level of shock. This will vary from 0, which means no shock, up to 5, which is the highest level of shock. The shock button. The shock button illuminates any time a mode is selected that will deliver a shock. If the shock button is not illuminated, then the belt is in a vibration mode. This provides a quick means of identifying if the StressX belt is in a shock mode. If a shock is not desired, by pushing the shock button, it will immediately change the mode setting to Mode 1, which is 1 vibration for each activation. If the shock button is pressed when the StressX is in vibration mode, it will immediately illuminate and switch the mode setting to Mode 4, which is 1 shock for each activation. The user should always ensure that the StressX belt is in the desired mode and desired shock level prior to the start of any training exercise.